Going too fast.
I'm weaker than John. Speed.
Calamity over
Noodles.
Serenity. What the fuck?
Calamity would be
Scroll down, my friend. Scroll down, my friend. Scroll down.
I'm weaker than. I mean, I'm stronger
Yeah,
than
bro. Yeah,
Dawn.
we're
I'm
yeah.
fine
No,
with
we're
that.
we're, we're dick riding. We're dick riding.
Who's
We're
not?
dick
Oh
riding.
yeah, Don.
We're dick riding. Nigga got me below Anbu, bro. We're dick riding.
Hold on, go
Mortified,
back.
do you think I'm losing the speed? You
Where
really
I'm
think
at.
I'm losing the
You're
speed,
sick.
Mortified? Like,
Mortified. This is trash, bro. You're already starting up bad, bro.
Darn in tier 6, he literally
yeah, no,
beat
Anbu
D1.
is
D1 he
easily
beat
tier
D1's tier
one.
6, bro. Like
bro, like
speed,
you
Yeah,
like I
already
don't like beat D1's
Anbu
tier
is
6.
easily tier one, bro.
bro, you got speed in tier 5. You have John oh my
Bro, you're judging the tier list too early, bro.
Bro,
Oh my
speed might be
goodness,
tier
bro.
6. No, troll. Speed might be tier 6. Like his tracking ability is utter ass now. Like it's other shit.
bro.
It's shit.
Bro,
It's
mortified. Did you not see how speed didn't track a lick of shit? Like bro
it's dumb,
didn't
bro.
even like take a hint. Oh, the recording box in here. Hold on. All right. So are you gonna go first, bro? Oh no. Yeah, are you gonna go first? I'm gonna go first, bro.
Alright, you know what? I'll just do it like this. Yeah. Alright. I just have a scaling chain in general. So I have Beerus being stronger than Jiren. You have Jiren being stronger than Beerus. I mean, not Beerus, Broly. My bad. I'm thinking Broly. Actually,
What are
look,
you?
cause what? Basically, my scaling is that Broly
Right.
scales higher than or there's a higher assertion scale for Broly compared to Jiren. So basically, Broly scales higher compared to Beerus than Jiren does through multipliers. My scaling for this is that so Ikari Broly is equal to Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Um, as we know, he gets 50 times stronger through Super Saiyan, and then we know that Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20 Goku is stated to be on par with Beerus by the director for the Broly movie. So Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20 Goku is on par with Beerus. Then Broly, by virtue of getting a 50 times amp, on top of being like equal to Super Saiyan Blue Goku, uh, would be 2.5 times stronger than Beerus because obviously 50 times
All right,
something.
bro. Hold on, bro. Okay. Hold on, bro. So basically, what is like the main thing you're getting at? You're just trying to say that. Okay, just okay. Yeah, just give me the main reasoning into what you're trying to get at, bro. Like, so I
Alright,
can
so
understand.
the main reason as to why Broly should be stronger. The main reason why Broly should be stronger than Jiren is, I mean, yeah, Broly should be stronger than Jiren. Just because there's a higher sort of scaling. You can assert Broly higher relative to Beerus than you can for Jiren because Broly just has
Okay,
been.
and so your evidence for that is through the multipliers that which you're like you were saying earlier, right? Like
Yeah,
how this Goku is equal to a specific multiplier. That okay. So like, are you just saying like just like his potential like itself, or just his power, like his dormant power, like?
just the power level that he has is like Super Saiyan
Okay,
exceeded.
so yeah, like I'm saying, but like the whole point is that like you would like I wouldn't say like agree. I ain't trying to like make it seem like it's a trick question or anything, or like try to like be a beneficial question. But like, would you at least assume or take into the like the fact that Broly, when he went to his legendary state, like drawed upon power that he didn't have access to?
Well, yeah, but he didn't have access to the legendary Super Saiyan state earlier. Um,
Okay.
and I can agree to that.
Okay, yeah, I just okay. That's what I'm just getting at. Okay, right. But then the main thing that I would get at is like once he reaches that state, like Broly has power, but he doesn't have control over that power, right? So like if you were just gonna go for like the that yeah, like Broly would have more power, have more key, yeah, but like that wouldn't just necessitate that he just would be like outright just beat Jiren in like a fight just because he's stronger than him. And the reason why I was gonna say that is because I was about to bring up the whole thing from the Q&A, basically how it's just going off of the fact of that, yeah, like you can have a lot of chakra. I said chakra, Jesus Christ. You can have a lot of ki or chi, like that's fine. But like if you don't know how, like if you don't have the experience to control it or master it or like manipulate it in the way you want to manipulate it, like the person with skill has a more favorable chance of coming out on top. Because like that's just basically what I'm arguing, that Jiren, if it was to have fight him in the first place, would just come out on top in a 1v1 fight, like even if he was to go berserk. Like the whole point
Okay.
is that when he's berserk, he doesn't have no self control. He doesn't have no actual control. And then on top of that, we already know for a fact, bro, he doesn't have no real like actual training experience in the first place.
Okay, so the problem is that even though Broly is obviously berserk, so he doesn't have like the best battle IQ, and even though he doesn't have the best training, he still did get trained by Paragus. Paragus stated that he taught Broly how to fight. At the same time, there would be no evidence towards Broly not having ki control in the sense of him not being able to use all of his ki. Because we do know Broly does have ki control. This is by virtue of him being
Someone
able
call me.
to.
Hold on, someone call me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Can you repeat? Because I heard when you said that Paragus had like gave him basic training. Like, go ahead.
Yeah, so not only that, right, but my point is that nothing about Broly's like inability to be the best fighter because of the fact that he's berserk leads to the fact that he doesn't have proper key control in the sense that he wouldn't be able to access all of his key. In fact, we know he has key control because, well, first off, when he like shoots a bunch of key blasts into the Earth, it doesn't blow up the planet, which is explained by virtue of having key control. He's also able to manipulate his key into key blasts and whatnot in the first place. That does require key control. In fact, flight in Dragon Ball, you know how characters fly? It's stated to be a form of key control, the Bukujutsu.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's I don't mean to cut you off, but like, yeah, I can agree. He has like a basic level, like no, like compare, like okay, so like let's make a distinction here. Like, well, there's a difference between having the basic, like fundamental understandings of that shit and just like having like a mastery over it, like with actual training, effort, and experience and practice. Like, and for an example, is Goku. Like Goku's key control would be on a completely different level than Broly's key control. Like, yeah, he has basic key control. Me not acknowledging that would just be fucking retarded. Because, like you said, like this, he's already like performing and utilizing the shit in the first place. But what I'm getting at is that like he was like him using his like the legendary Super Saiyan state is still not like a stable power source. Like, yeah, like the power is there. I'm not disagreeing with that. We were agreeing with the power part. Like the power is there. I can agree with that. But like, can he manipulate it and can he utilize it like how he wants it to, or like can he distribute it how he wants it to? I think that like that's where like I draw the line at. That's basically what I'm getting at.
yeah, but the problem is,
And
right?
that's why I was saying that it would be more favorable for Jiren because Jiren would have that experience and that wisdom and that practice like into what I'm getting at. And like that would just be enough to at least give him the overturning hand in the battle. But yeah, the scan I'm sending the scan in scans. Like for some reason it's not letting me send it in general, so I'm just not sending the scans.
Okay, but the problem I'm gonna have with this, right? Why do you think that not having what's it called? Why do you think not having perfect key control means that you're not able to use all of your key, or that when you punch or when you fight, right, you're not able to use all of your power in those attacks? I think not having perfect key control means you can't properly use it into maybe the best techniques, right? Because a major factor of key manipulation that they know is stuff like using special techniques like the Kamehameha. But that doesn't imply that you wouldn't be able to use all of your power. For example, Broly's flying and running and punching with full power and full speed, based on what his key allows him to get, right? So I can grant maybe Broly isn't the best in terms of like IQ and how to use that key in terms of like special techniques, but I don't grant the fact that not having perfect key control wouldn't allow him to fight at full power. Like the full power that his form gives him, he wouldn't be able to fight with that, with through his punches and whatnot. I don't see what's the argument for that.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So like I was saying, I understand where you're coming from, but like I think you strawman a little bit what I was getting at because like I was saying before in the beginning, you're just basically where they're saying that I'm saying that he's not using his full power, but that's not what I'm saying at all. Like I'm agreeing that the power is there. Like that's not the problem. And then you're saying perfect key control. Like I never like I don't know why you're like it's like we'll be labeled to just having perfect key control, but it's like that's a very like outlandish like term to use for that specifically in that sense. The only thing I'm just saying is that like there should be a just like I'm pretty much sure like you will be aware of distinction level of like a regular like the basic fundamental knowledge in like a person who has experience in it. Like it's just like a teacher and a student. Like you get what I'm saying? Like it's basically it will be basically like shit like that. That's what I'm getting at. Like the teacher will have more knowledge and have more experience than the student. That's basically where where I'm trying to draw that comparison from. Like Broly would be the
Wait,
student, and like Jiren would be the teacher. Like I think Jiren has
hmm,
more experience. I think he has more mental experience, more mental clarity than Broly. Like which will also just lead into like that's what I'm saying. Like the whole point, like that leads into what I'm getting at. Into like the whole point is that if push came to shove, if Broly was to pull up on Jiren, and let's say he does flip out and go berserk, uses all his power, could Jiren fight him off, or need be like escape him, or get rid of him, or kill him like in that instance? Yes, I think he can. Whole point.
okay. So the problem is, right? I'm perfectly fine with saying, by the way, that Jiren is more skilled than Broly. The way in which you're interpreting
No.
Broly's
But if you do, then you're gonna be then that's agreeing to everything. Like then that the whole point is that my entire argument is based upon skill. If you're agreeing he has more skill, then Broly would just like outskill him in like in terms
no,
of fighting.
because it's not a relevant factor, right? Because if you agree, let me explain. If you agree that Broly's actually able to use all of his ki, right? All of the ki that his transformations give him, he's actually able to use that. Maybe he can't because he's not as skilled as Jiren. Maybe he can't, I don't know, punch as efficiently, or maybe he can't use the ki into like a technique like a more damaging ki blast, like the Kamehameha, because Jiren might be able to use like ki blast and shit. But the point is, if he's able to use that ki, then I'm just saying that Broly's ki level, like his power level, you can just assert it to a much larger extent than you can to Jiren, to the point where Broly would just be much stronger than Jiren, and the skill wouldn't even matter because Broly would literally just be untouchable to Jiren. Like that's how ridiculously stronger. Like Jiren wouldn't be at one sec. Jiren would not only be much slower than Broly, but he also wouldn't be able to damage Broly because he's over 2 times weaker than Broly, which is a gap that's stated in the Daisenshu to be such that if you're two
Yes,
times
I'm aware of the domination multiplier. That's not like I'm aware of that, but that's not even like the whole point of our argument. Because that's, I mean, that right there is basically dependent on the whole multiplier thing you said earlier. I'm aware of that, but the whole point I'm getting at is why. Okay, I'm not understanding why you're just saying is if he okay, so you're saying he has the power, and then what? Like that power should just be enough to overwhelm him, right? That's basically what
yeah,
you're
I'm
getting at.
saying
Like that's what I'm taking.
Broly's power level that's given to him by the transformations is just asserted to be many, many times greater than Jiren's, to the
Yeah,
point where he
okay,
gets
yes, so
the
then okay,
domination
okay, so
would be
then this
the
is about power, right?
regardless of skill.
And you're saying that, okay, like you're saying that him not having the skill would just be him not being able to like use or utilize specific key blasts or stuff like that. It's not even the fact of that. It's also Jiren, like I said before, has more mental clarity than Broly. And like how I was saying, like I was going off of the statement. I sent the statement. I don't know if it was all the way, probably didn't go
Oh,
through. I sent the statement until I was talking about the whole thing with the Q&A and shit. Like that, yeah, just read that. It's just basically giving a tip of like what is the key thing to win, like the key thing to winning a battle, and like it just basically breaks down like what would be
okay,
what would be, and that's why I said the whole point I'm arguing just for a favorable like stance, and that's what I'm saying. Like what I'm saying aligns not only with the statement, but like I'm just giving the statement for the reference point to where I'm drawing my conclusion. Like that's the whole point. But yeah,
okay.
like everything.
To be clear though, because to be clear, this statement it basically says that you can gain higher levels of ki through having more mental clarity. I agree with that, but let me explain why I don't think it matters. So,
No. I wasn't even specifically talking about that point. I'm just talking about like how it says right here, like in the battle the most important thing is the size of your key and your control over it, like it's basically like the whole point of the control part. Like that's where I was mainly trying to get at also when I also mentioned the fact of how Jiren has the mental clarity. That's what I was like, just another thing, like it wasn't just like if you're trying to argue for the other part, we can talk about that, but the main thing I was getting at for like the referencing the scan in the first place is that like one of the main key aspects to winning a fight, or what would be a more favorable aspect to winning the fight, is having control over your key. Like, and that's the whole point. Like, that's why I said before, like, if you agree to him not having like a specific amount of control, then just cheering through his combative experiences and like his more like warrior combative style would just end up like ultimately beating Broly. That's the whole point I'm getting at.
the problem is, right, this assumes that key control is more important than key as a factor into the fight, to the degree that Broly just having like many, many times the key of Jiren and still being able to fight with all that key, just because he can't control it as good like with how he like shoots key blasts and shit or whatever, just because he can't control it as good would mean that he would lose. My problem is that I'm basically arguing that even though key control is still a valid part of what makes and breaks a fight, it can still be a factor. Key is just more important, especially in this context, to where Broly is just going to be fighting with well over twice as much key as Jiren, based on how much we can assert his key power level to be. To the point where Jiren, no matter how skilled he fights, just wouldn't be able to harm Broly, and Broly would just be much faster than him and just keep like beating him to death.
Okay. So right, I just want to touch up on these specific three things, and then like if you want to, we could conclude. But like, only thing I want to say specifically is that the whole point is that because like I'm not just like making this just like once again like a one shot answer. That's what I'm saying. Like it's just in a reference to because there's multiple things that's inside this statement. Like it's not just one specific key thing to winning a battle. That's the whole point. Like it takes a magnitude of things to win the specific battle. But the main thing I want to point out, like how I was saying before, into why the what I was getting at before would just be like very relevant into the whole standpoint of the debate is that like how I was saying, when you talk about the key control where it says right here the Genki, the Yuki, and the fucking Shoki or whatever, like the courage, the right mindedness, and I think that's energy, whatever the fuck it says over there. But like the whole point is that it would be hard for you to argue that in that standpoint, Broly would have the like the courage and the right mindedness, which is like one of the two aspects of key control, like well, at least to a good degree for him to be like, like saying that he can like outbeat or outclass warriors or entities or people in Dragon Ball who have better understanding and like, better honed in like on their ability with that and in that aspect of peak control. Like I don't see how you can really do that. That would just be you claiming that, to be honest.
The problem, okay,
So,
the problem,
you're
I
claiming,
just
okay, right? Like if you're saying it's a possibility, I understand. But like if you're just claiming that just because Broly has this 2 times increase in power that he's just gonna automatically beat him, then yeah, like that's where it's gonna go. Like if you're claiming it, then we're gonna have like then it's just basically over. But if you're
okay.
saying it's a
The problem. Listen. I get what you're saying. The problem is that, again, simply put, key control is still a relevant factor, but key is just the overwhelmingly more important factor in the context of this discussion because, right, the degree in which Broly has more key than Jiren, which is again way over 2 times, and we agree that he can at least use all
hold
of
on.
that.
I mean to cut you off, but it's in the beginning of the statement. He is the concept. Of course, it includes such as spiritual, which as power as energy, which is Genki, courage, Yuki, and right mind is Shoki. Those are the three things that make up of Ki. It's verbatimly right there in the statement.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
as a concept, of course, includes such as spiritual powers as energy, which is Genki, courage, the Yuki, and the right mindedness, which is Shoki. That's the whole point. Like I am talking
Yeah,
about the fundamental properties of Ki. Wait, I just want to make that clear because like you're like I'm saying like this is the fundamental properties of Ki. It's not like we're not talking about the fundamental properties. We're talking about
I'm not.
fundamental
Yeah,
properties.
I know what it is, right? I'm just saying that Broly's combination of Shoki, Yuki, and Genki, right, would be much greater than Jiren's, right? To the
Yeah,
point
prove that.
of what?
Prove that. How?
Because again, um, Broly was on par in his Akari state. He's on par with Super Saiyan Blue Goku, and Super Saiyan Blue Calculus 20 is stated to be equal to Jiren. I mean, not Jiren, equal to Beerus. And Broly gets a 50 times amp on that in Super Saiyan. And then he gets a much greater amp, which again, like Super Saiyan 50 times would mean that he's 2.5 times stronger than
Wait,
Kaioken Blue
dude, but
Goku.
how? Okay, no, but how does that? How does that prove? No, what you just claimed is that Broly's key control would be better than Jiren's. Like, how are you
I
proving that?
never said that. I never said that. I never said that.
Yeah.
Let me clarify.
What?
Let me clarify. No. Let me clarify
Okay,
because I don't want
okay.
to.
Go
I'm
ahead.
saying what I'm saying is that the combination, right? This isn't even key control. This is key. These are the three components of key. That's different from your key control, right? Like in this statement it says you get the size of your key and then the control of your key, and then they go into depth into what key is, like the size of your key, right? It's like these three things.
No, it
I'm
says
saying
key is the con. It says right there what key is. Yeah, because after it says the control over your key,
okay,
period. It says key
obviously,
as a
if they're just,
concept.
gosh, one sec. If they're describing what key is, right? And key
Yes.
control, key and key control are separate things. So when they say what key is, they're not talking about what key control is. Key control isn't Shoki, Genki, and Yuki. That is key, and then key control is how you control the key, right? That is made up of those three things. We can at least agree on that, so I can continue with my point.
I mean, I can see your aspect. Like that wasn't like a completely aligned how I was seeing it, but I can agree with your aspect. But that's still the whole like I can just say I'll still man that right. I can
Okay,
still
yeah,
agree
let me just.
that that's the case, but that's still just meaning that you're saying that Broly has better control over like
That's
his
not what I'm saying.
current.
Let me
Right.
clarify because wait. I'm not
Okay.
saying that he has better control. What I'm saying is that through the assertions we can make on Broly's overall power level, right, which is his overall key level, his key size, whatever. Through the assertions we can make there, Broly's combination of the three components of ki, right, Genki, Shoki, and Yuki, is much greater than Jiren to the point where he would win. That's
Okay,
all I'm
but
saying.
prove that. How? Like that's
I'm
it's not proving that. Like
again.
that's the
So
whole point.
okay, let me make this a little bit more simpler. So as we know, right, ki is the making up of all those things, right? Right-mindedness, courage, and energy. That is all just what ki is, right? That makes up your total level of ki. So then,
Right,
through the
mind.
scaling chain I provided earlier, Broly's total level of ki would vastly exceed what we can assert for Jiren's level of ki, for Jiren's level of power level, based on what we've seen from Jiren. And I can give more extrapolation to that if you want. Right?
Okay, dude. I already said that. You're talking about like the size of his key. If you want to say that he has a bigger chakra pool, or that the legendary Super Saiyan state grants him to draw upon like a specific level of power, okay, but then you're just like claiming that just because he has this, he can beat him, and then you're trying to go off of like a quantitative increase and through the multiplier route into why that would be the case. Why? When that's not proving the whole point of what I'm getting at. And the whole point of what I'm getting at is in the scan verbatim. Like you said, we're talking about key. And it says verbatim right there at the top. Like I like this is like I don't understand. Like it's not about the size of your key, about how you can control it. And the main concept or the main way of controlling it is through the courage, the right mindedness and your energy. Broly,
That's
we knew for a fact, is not in his right state of mind. That's just like that, like I don't know why we would have to even sit here and talk about that. Like that's the whole point. Like for
all right.
one,
First off,
just
a couple
for
things.
just for clarification, Broly is not in his right state of mind. I don't think you will go against that. Like
I'm not gonna
that
go.
that
Okay. But listen, I just don't think it matters. So let me explain why. Okay. So first,
what that's irrelevant. That's
okay,
irrelevant. It wouldn't matter because the whole point is that you're trying to go against the main thing of what he
we
control
kind of
is
okay. We're kind of
and what
going
he is like that. I don't
one
think
sec,
that.
one sec, one sec, one sec. Anbu. We're kind of going circular. So soon we can
To be
conclude. But
honest,
let me just.
we can already go to
Wait.
conclusion.
Let me say
I
something
don't
first.
think
Let
we
me
need
say
to say
something first.
anything else. So be honest, we
One
can go
sec.
to conclusions now. Like to be real,
One sec.
I
One
can
sec.
start on first if
One
you really
sec,
want.
bro. I said I'm not done. Just please. Okay. My point is that first off, right?
Oh my god,
He
bro.
right-mindedness and courage aren't stated to be what's it called? They're not stated to be part of key control, right? Key, what they say key is right-mindedness and courage. Those aspects, right? They go into your key, right, which would be your power level. Key control is how you control your key, which is made up of that shit, right? So it's not like key control is right-mindedness. Right-mindedness affects your key amount, your key level. And then key control is just how you regulate that level. Now, again, what I'll say is that even though, what's his name? Jiren can have greater key control, it's not, again, ever stated to be more relevant to have more better key control than it is to have better key. I think obviously maybe if like two characters are have around the same level of key and one has much better key control, then you can argue something there. I'm just saying that because Broly is at least still able to use all of his power, like he's still able to exude all of his power, he just might not be able to control it through like certain techniques and whatnot in the most efficient way to the same way Jiren can. It wouldn't be relevant because again, he'd just be way faster physically. He'd be undamageable due to being assertable way over two times, and then he would just pound Jiren to death. I'm just saying that despite Jiren
All
having
right, bro,
better
you
key control
rambling,
and
bro.
better.
All right, bro. Okay, bro, stop, bro. Because you just said the same shit over again, bro. You're
Okay,
trying to
okay, my bad,
straw
my
man.
bad. You're right.
You're straw manning what I'm saying, and you're just not answering specific things. You already have a claim that you still have not answered. You're verbatimly claiming that Broly has better. And look, no, because that's the whole thing. You keep saying that, right? Like the whole Shoki, Yuki, Genki shit isn't inclusive into key control when that's literally the turning wheel to generate key. Like I don't understand. Like do you
Okay,
like
do you want to
think
look
of
at
it?
the
No,
verbiage of the statement?
bro. I'll let you ramble, bro. Think it's a perfect example. Think of it as a fraction wheel. You have a wheel that's cut into three fucking sections. You have the three things that make up a key. The more that you can control and manipulate those three things, the more you can control and manipulate your key. That's like literally the whole fucking point of the process. That's why you have to not only train physically, spiritually, but also mentally as well, and just also hone in on your energy. Like just you, like your key, your like your actual like existence itself. Because like even for example, like how when the characters can use their life force and generate that into fucking key, like that's the whole point. Like you're just sitting here as if I'm just like
Okay,
not. I don't understand, bro. Like
no, real quick about this. First off, key is something that everyone has, even like a normal fucking human who doesn't even know they have key. They
bro,
have
that's
key, right?
irrelevant. I think we can. Can we go? We can just go to conclusion,
Can
bro. That's
we?
irrelevant
Can we just? No,
on this specific.
I'm not done. I'm saying, okay, key. You don't turn shit into key. Like when they make key blast, that's just them exuding their key into like a physical form that they can like shoot out and shit. Which again, that's what I can agree that Jiren can do better than Broly. But as you even said, right? Yuki and Shoki and this shit, right? These are aspects of key that you can control. That doesn't mean that having better key control means you have a better size of your key. Again like
What, dude? Okay, time out. It's for bro. The statement literally says that if you have a bet, bro. Hold on, wait. Let's just literally go back to this, right? It verbatimly says right here that. Hold on.
it literally says, okay, the size, the most
Okay,
important thing.
yeah, it says
Wait,
right here.
one
It
sec,
says
one sec,
you
one
know
sec, one
there
sec, one sec, one
it's
sec.
through physical strength, and the only way to overcome that is through ki. I think Goku was able to approach the mightiest warrior in the universe through strengthening his ki. And what was he doing by strengthening his ki? He had physical training, he had spiritual training, and mental training as well. Like what the like I don't under fucking stand. Like
Wait,
that's
but
the whole
okay,
point of the
when they
evolution of the.
say when they say like strengthening your key, right? What they're talking about is through his power level. Go key is like power level, right? Is literally just
What? No,
the.
I don't know about
Can you
all that.
let me finish? No, no, let me fucking finish because I'm getting mad. Because you keep fucking interrupting me.
Bro,
Key
because we could
is
go to conclusions already,
one
like, bro, just
second. Well,
relax
because you
out.
keep bringing new shit. No, we're not gonna go to
I
conclusion.
I'm
We're
was
just
not
I
talking about.
was
new. I'm just resuscitating the same thing I've already said.
No,
Like I
okay,
said this
listen,
already.
listen, listen. Okay, well, you're trying to add something in. Let me explain to you why this isn't making like the sense you think. So, key, right, is power level. Like the size of your key is your power level, right? That is representative of your key. From there, you can control it. That's why the statement itself says the most important thing is the size of your key, right? And then your control over it. Key control isn't the same as key. It's control over key, right? Key is a concept that I'm talking about when in regards to just saying Broly just has so much more that doesn't matter. Now, obviously, right, when they say how Goku is able to train his ki, right, because his physical body needs ki to be actually powerful, right? As they mention how like if Goku suppresses his ki, in Super even, Lee says if you suppress your ki so much, your physical body's weak as shit. That's why Goku gets damaged by fucking bullets and shit. Because if he's really like depleted on his ki, his body isn't gonna do shit. The point is, it's really just a fancy way of saying that Goku gets a stronger power level through his training, spiritual, mental, physical, whatever. The point is, right, that the size of the key is what I'm just saying. Like none of this really defeats the fact that the size of the key is what matters most because key control doesn't influence. There's nothing that implies or states that it influences the
Okay,
size of your key.
time out,
It just
time out,
makes it
time
more
out, time
efficient
out.
to use in
Are
battle.
you arguing that the size is just the fact? Okay, so like I said, I already. Okay, right. Let me say this right. If you're arguing about the size, like how I said, the whole point of them talking about it isn't to the fact of how you can control and distribute and manage your key. So like that's basically what they mean by the size of your key. Not like I'm like if you're just therefore claiming since it says the size, then that means they're just talking about like how big, then like and like just without any like context or whatever, it's just like oh specifically how big meaning how strong. Like no, because then like that can be equal interpretation right there. The whole point of them talking about the size is how you're distributing and how you're like asserting this tank of fucking key. Like that's the whole point of it. Like if you're at 100%, however you distribute that 100% is how you distribute that 100%. Like that's the whole point that they're getting at.
Oh
And
my gosh.
before on multiple occasions, I already said before on multiple occasions, Broly does not have any mental clarity whatsoever, meaning that he wouldn't even have courage as well. That I would think I would say I wouldn't say I can definitively prove this, but I'd say like since you wouldn't have no mental clarity, it would be possible for him to not have no courage as well. Which is once again the two main things that make up the aspect of the shit in the first place. Meaning that once again, it's just gonna still go back to that. And then also you never proved how him. I mean, you never proved that he has better key control than him. Like you asserted that you never proved
I
that.
never fucking okay. No,
And
and
you
now you're
tried
gonna
to
have to let
say
me
that
fucking finish. Now you're gonna have to let me fucking finish
wait,
because now
hold
you're
on, wait.
now
I'm
you're
just
pissing me
giving
off.
my
Now you're
conclusion. I'm
strawmanning
just
me.
giving my conclusions, bro. I'm giving my conclusions. Then you try to
We're
sit
not
there
even
and
going to
straw man what
conclusions. I'm
I'm
still
saying,
gonna say something in
bro. No,
response to your
because
fucking
we've been
argument.
going in circles for a little too long, bro. Like I'm not
No,
gonna lie.
because
Like
you're mentioning
he
something new right now, and I want to
no,
respond
I'm
to it.
not. I'm saying the same thing I said, and then you strong manning what I'm saying by when you're just trying to say if I'm just making this the sole only option. I'm not saying that. I was just saying that it would be more likely that this would be the case due to the fact of that the statement is just basically saying that okay, a person is more favorable to win. That's why it says what is
Okay,
the key thing to winning a battle? Wait, what is the key thing to winning a battle? This is a question, right? And they're giving some kind of tip. That's the whole point of Akira Toriyama, like writing and doing the Q&A in the first place. He's giving a tip into why he thinks this would be a more favorable advantage or position for a fighter. And I already proved why Jiren would have a better, like not only the better mental clarity, but the courage as well, which is which is two of the main components that at that time Broly in his legendary Super Saiyan state would not have power. I mean, would not have on the same level of intellect on, and you didn't like you just failed to engage with that as well.
okay.
The
Anyways, now that you're
other
done,
thing, look, just one more
holy
thing,
fuck,
there's
we
one
didn't
more
say
thing,
anything else. We actually didn't say
bro.
anything
Yeah,
else. I
yeah,
don't know what you're talking
you
about.
did say something else, bro. You did say something else, bro. I remembered, bro. Right. So after that, the last thing I think you were saying is that um now, yeah, for the key blast thing, I mean, even though this has already been like talked about, I've already touched upon this earlier, but for the key blast thing, you keep saying that, oh yeah, like he just wouldn't have it like it would just affect like his key blast or certain techniques. Because you even brought up the example that, oh yeah, like I can agree that it wouldn't be utilized into the fact of like a deadly attack like a Kamehameha or something like that. Those are your words yourself, but like then that just also just goes against the fact of that Broly wouldn't even have enough power or have a key based attack to attack Jiren like in a deadly amount of force. Like that's not like you just already just forfeit yourself on that one as well. So like that doesn't even make no sense either. But maybe if I'm like maybe if I misheard you or specifically on
Okay.
that, that's what
Oh
you
my
said.
gosh. Okay. Now,
Other than
first
that,
off, right?
we can indirect.
First off, because you said a lot of things, I'm not gonna let you like say more because I'll just be shocking at that point. It's more than I can handle. First off, right? When it comes to Broly Sasuke, like again, Sasuke in Dragon Ball is contextualized to your power level. First off, so if Broly has more size of ki, right, which is what I argued through his or which is what I've been arguing, and I'll explain more of that argument. If Broly has more size and ki, he just has a more power level, right? And by virtue of having well over 2 times the power level, Broly doesn't even need to literally shoot any ki blasts. Broly, when I said Jiren can shoot better ki blasts, I just mean that how in Dragon Ball, right? Like you can typically amplify your ki through ki blast, like the Kamehameha has a higher power level than Goku. Typically, even characters that have bad key control, like Frieza soldiers, can shoot key blasts at scale to them, but he doesn't even need to. He can just punch him, vastly outspeed him, and again, he wouldn't be harmed. Now, at the same time, right? It's never stated or implied that key control, as I said, is within the verbiage of the statement is more important than the size of your key itself, nor is it ever implied or stated to like be a factor in the size of key you have, right? That's just said through like training and shit, that increase your
What?
size of key and transformations. So again, the
What?
whole point is that one sec. If Broly's size of ki through his transformations and whatnot, and we agree that he can still use his ki as he's fighting, even if he doesn't have all that great ki control. I don't care what his courage or his right-mindedness is compared to Jiren, because again, his overall combination of the three ki types, which one of them again is Genki, which is just like it's just defined as energy, like the Genki Dama takes your Genki, for example. Um, but yeah, basically, the combination of his three key types is just overwhelmingly more than Jiren. And yeah, like the whole point is that Broly having less key control just doesn't mean
But
that his usage of his much greater key wouldn't allow him to win based on
yeah,
like
okay, bro. So once again, right, I'm just gonna set this in here. I'm just gonna like, right, because you're just trying to argue over a willpower thing, bro. Like, okay, like you're saying that so you're going off of Genki. Once again, that's just will. All right, but then I can just argue that Jiren would have a stronger will, but like that wouldn't even fucking matter because like you're still like you're not answering shit. There's like two.
wait, Genki referred wait, I want
You already made so many claims, bro. Like you already claimed yourself into a hole, and then you're not answering certain questions.
well,
And then
when you counter with a straw man, right? Then I have to like I'll do something, right? Because that's just
So
not
we're gonna
actually
force conclusions. I'm the judge. All right, let's get it.
one sec.
Focus
One sec.
sec.
So you said when I was talking about Genki, I was referring to willpower. No, Genki in the statement, by the way, even the statement you sent, Genki refers to energy, right? Just pure energy.
bro, yes,
Besides
your
something-
life force. That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, but yeah, your
yeah, your
life.
life
I mean,
force.
why
So
wouldn't
but
your
even if
willpower comes from your life force? Like, that's the whole point. Like,
but
what?
no, this is not fucking One Piece. Willpower and life force aren't one to one.
Well, I mean,
Um,
what the fuck does One Piece? Wow, what?
wait, no, okay, wait. Why do you think that? What's it called? Why do you
I'm just
think?
saying as an example. I mean, don't like. I mean, like as okay for as a verbatim example,
Like
I would say
literally,
that every time I
you
would
can
say that
have
time out.
less.
I would say that every human like this is like for one this is non sequitur to the argument of what the hell I'm talking about. I'm just saying as an example. I'm saying like I can think that every human would have the will to live like that's in your fucking existence. Like I don't understand. Like I don't see what's
I'm
the
just
problem with that.
wait.
Like
The point,
I know I love my life. I know I want to fucking live. Like
that's fine. I'm not saying that you don't like people don't have willpower. That anyone with ki doesn't have willpower. I'm just saying Genki and
no, that's what I
willpower
said.
aren't the same.
That's this is something completely different. But like I said, I don't even know how this is.
I'm
I don't know.
just okay. Let me clarify then. All I'm saying is that Genki and willpower aren't the same fucking thing. Genki is just energy, life energy, right? You can have a weaker will than someone, but have more energy. You can have more ki than someone and have less willpower because again, they're not like
That doesn't even matter to the fucking thing, bro. I'm not even looking
okay.
at
Because
this.
you were just trying to say I was trying to argue like Broly's willpower or some shit.
Oh,
Just carry on.
no.
Have anything
There's
else
some
to say?
nah, bro. Someone in the wreck, bro. I wanna go through it real quick. I know it's just like about 30, 40 minutes. I wanted this shit. This shit could have been over like about 20 minutes ago. I'm not gonna lie.